See.
Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more boards than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more boards than a Shawshank.
The NFL on EA Sports has come to the Twin Cities at U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the San Francisco 49ers. Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's Xavier Rhodes there in on the stop.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
You got three down. He's checking. Crash. Watch twist. 13.
On 2nd down, it's Coleman. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. To throw is Garoppolo. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Emerson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10.
At their own 41-yard line.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Here we go again.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be a 2nd and long. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Room to run past midfield. Open here, Adam Thielen. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage and anybody to run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
On 2nd and 7, Garoppolo nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Everson Griffin able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long.
Kill. Turn it. Clock. Check 49.
On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo being chased out left. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Sherrill's on the return. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Cousins now from the 50. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on 2nd down, and that leads to a tough 3rd down call.
Mike 54. I'm here all day. Hey, Zoo. Hey, watch out. Check that.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew them off sides. Going deep for Diggs. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. 48 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment for the guys covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by them. And once he's by them, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. Now on 2nd and 13. Garoppolo. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here. After 1st and 2nd down went backwards, it's 3rd and very long.
Check 55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike. 12. Defense, keep it up, guys.
Garoppolo forced out to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. It'll be a pickup of 16, but they'll remain short of the marker, and it's 4th down. Here comes the 49ers punter now. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports.
With the score, Vikings 13, 49ers nothing.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 35 yards that time on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 33-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
54. Too little, cupcake.
On third down, Cousins. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Now the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on third down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
We own it. We own it. Check 3. 21.
To throw, it's Garoppolo. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. And that will be incomplete. Pretty solid coverage there by the All-Pro Richard Sherman, able to get a hand in.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They're down a couple of scores, 16-0, as they start things out with a 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Check. Lucky. Hey, alert. Slam. Stick. Check 3.
Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped. And that'll set them back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long.
Tight end right. 21. Check safety. Check. Cross. 2.
Garoppolo now. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to George Kittle, his tight end, and it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Garoppolo looks to throw. He's got his man. It's Kendrick Bourne. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Check 3.
They'll run with Coleman on 1st down. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Here we go. Go.
Garoppolo on the draw to Coleman. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
He's coming. Double up. 65.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. Dancing to his... And now Garoppolo lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. 20. 10, and they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that pushes the lead up to 23.
49ers nothing.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
The Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy. We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
21.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. He'll bicep, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Here comes the 49ers punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
To throw again on second down, Cousins. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
It's now 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. On play action, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, and call it an even 50 yards. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This will be taken very short. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Cousins gives way to Cook, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd and 1.
56. Mike's 56. Watch the run. Watch the run. 56 to Mike. 56 is the Mike.
Stay with your man. Mike 56, Mike 56.
Danny.
On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
At the 13-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
I got him. Shift.
11.
Slam.
Here's Garoppolo to throw. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Bang.
12, fellas. Here we go.
Bang.
On 2nd and 11 now. Garoppolo. Flushed out right. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Well, there was pressure all around him, so the only play was to try and get out of there. I think it was an excellent effort by him just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Check 24. Shift.
On the draw play, Coleman. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Through. All right, now here we go. Oh.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54.
Hey, echo.
Here I come. Mike's 5'4. Mike's 5'4. Leave it. Ring up 48.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54. I'm coming.
Cousins now. And it's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that'll make it third down.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit. I'm falling back on my playing days. If I had a receiver that was 3 inches taller than me and they couldn't complete a pass like that, my confidence really rose at that point. I probably said a few things to him to that effect.
But Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go.
Dan Bailey to kick off for Minnesota.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Eleven.
They will run again with Coleman. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. We've seen this a few times in this game. That offensive line just, I don't know if you want to call it out physical, out tough, whatever you want to use.
And what people do when that is happening, when they're getting dominated that way, they spread things out a little bit, make it more of a space game, and allow your skill position players to make a few plays out in open field. Take away the physical element, gives you a chance.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll go as a 1st down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16.
First down.
Here we go. Black 80.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
Yeah, check. Hey, Mike. Hey, no. Switch the mic right here. We'll go Mike 40. Mike 40.
Come on. 21. Here we go.
Check 13.
On 2nd and 12, Garoppolo. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Buying time to his left. Now he's, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield. Not the best of plays here as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12. A quick throw taken in by Diggs. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
Hatch it.
To throw, Cousins. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
He don't want it. Check 30. White.
Now Garoppolo. Got his target, Samuel. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
On 1st down, Garoppolo drops it off for Coleman. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That really sets him back, a loss of 6.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play and facing a 2nd and long.
Watch 13. Watch twist.
To throw is Garoppolo. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number one cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. The Niners on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 11.
Safe. Out.
And yet again it's Garoppolo. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 45-yard line.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Garoppolo now. A perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11. They're having issues right now getting that running game going.
I wonder if maybe adopting some of the college run game would help here. Because we're still at that stage where you have a bunch of guys saying, I don't know about what the colleges do. And the college stuff is working in the NFL. Bigger line splits, create some more natural running lanes. Might help the offensive linemen get better at it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph. Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. And the 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Looking to throw. Garoppolo completes it to the tight end, Kittle. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5 all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Watch 54. Watch the out.
They start the drive with Cook. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Ken. Right there. 54. Right there. 54 Mike.
Man, that's trash. That's trash.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
I'm coming.
They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. And, boy, this defense, again, really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the fourth quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Check 50, check 50.
Lock.
Check 9.
11.
One final try now for Garoppolo. He's going to let it fly. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off right around the 43. And that will write a finish to this ball game. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball.